Arsenal keep winning, and they keep winning while they're under pressure. The last couple of games they've played after Manchester City, when there has been huge pressure on them to go out there and get the points. And today was a much more convincing performance. Recently, the narratives and the agendas have been that Arsenal aren't playing like champions. Arsenal will bottle the league to Manchester City. And yes, they beat Everton narrowly 1-0. Yes, they beat Crystal Palace on penalty shootout. And yes, they beat Wolves with 2 own goals. But today was a much better performance. 20 plus shots, higher XG, a decent amount of possession with a number of changes to the 11, including Declan Rice playing at right back. I don't know how many times I've said this, and I will keep saying this. If you think Declan Rice is just a midfielder, then you need to watch him more. Because bearing in mind, his starting position when he went into professional football was a centre-back. He's played as a box-to-box midfielder. He's played as a defensive midfielder. And today he played as a right-back. The levels he has in his locker, he may be one of the most versatile players in Europe right now. Very much like Caicedo. 2 very good world-class midfielders who can slot in a number of roles. And that's always a sign of a good footballer who can play different roles and play different roles to a very good level. Now, Arsenal didn't keep a clean sheet today, but they were by far the better team. In 11, that had Lewis Skelly come in, that had Nkapie come in. Gabriel will be back next game, according to a lot of the reports. Victor Gyökeres started. Ødegaard got on the score sheet, first time this season. Declan Rice, even at right back, I believe he got an assist as well. Bukayo Saka with another assist. There's a lot of things about this Arsenal team. What they're doing right now is what... Look, Man City right now are playing some unbelievable stuff. Let's not beat around the bush. Man City look dangerous on every single level. Raya Cherki may be one of the best players in the world right now. And the narrative about City is what a lot of people have started looking at is they're winning games not necessarily when Haaland scores. But equally, when Arsenal win a game, the narrative is they were lucky. They will bottle the league. I don't see a team that's bottling the league. I see a team that's going through a sticky patch. Every team goes through a sticky patch where things don't go your way. It's football after all. Anything can happen. Mistakes can happen. VAR moments can go against you. But I see a team right now that even while they are going through their so-called sticky patch, they've only lost 2 games all season. 2 games. But it seems like from what you read on the socials and people you speak to, for instance, in the pub or people you speak to at the grounds, whenever a conversation about Arsenal is presented, it's always this notion of they will fall apart. But I don't necessarily see that. They've won their last 4 games in a row and everyone's acting like their last 5 games in a row, and everyone's acting like they're going to fall apart. I don't necessarily buy into that. Make sure you go down, drop a like on the video if you haven't already. Make sure you do hit that subscribe button. Smash the subscribe button if you haven't already. 90% of you, yes, you who watch the content every single day have not subscribed. The transfer window is coming up. There'll be a Liverpool match reaction on here later, as well as an Aston Villa versus Chelsea match reaction. I want to get into the lineup. I want to get into the goals. I want to look at the league table. But just want to show you guys something very, very quickly. I don't see a team looking at these results who's in a crisis. Beat Palace through to the semi-finals. Top of the Premier League. Top of the Champions League. With winnable games coming up. They'll beat Bournemouth. They'll beat Forest. They'll beat Portsmouth. They'll probably beat Liverpool. Chelsea, who knows? Villa, who knows? But the lineups today, very different. I thought Calafiori would have started. I thought, of course, Timber and Ben White have both. I think Timber, in terms of him, I thought maybe he'd start midweek. I didn't think he'd start today. Eze not brought on for the 2nd game in a row. People are already losing their minds over that. I think Eze and Noni Madueke will both start midweek. Trossard, Gyökeres, and Saka was the front 3 today. Zubimendi, Rice, Marino, and Odegaard was the midfield. Lewis Skelly, Nkapie, Saliba, Declan Rice, and David Raya. recent years, Brighton have caused Arsenal some problems. Last season, there was the time where Declan Rice was sent off. I think it was a draw that game. The year before that, I remember when Estepinian got 2 assists and a goal. I think it was 3-1. Last year at the Amex, I believe it was a very close game. Brighton can be a bogey team for a lot of teams. They've got decent results against Man City in recent years. But today, the only thing that was important was getting the 3 points, because Manchester City went out there, Raya and Cherky put in a very, very good performance. I actually mute myself, and they won 2-1. So that was the only thing that mattered today, and they actually started the game relatively well, really well, in fact. I don't think Brighton had a shot in the opening 40 minutes. I was trying to watch that in the Liverpool game, so I don't really remember them having a shot. One thing I will say is these are the sort of games where you kind of expect that number 9 up front, Victor Gyökeres, to get on the score sheet. Now, he did get the penalty against Everton, but his numbers this season, I'm looking at a guy that he doesn't look like he's got confidence whatsoever. Now, it will take him time. We know that. It will take Xavi Simons time. It will take Florian Wirtz time. It will take Alexander Isak time. He's got 5 goals in 15 games, and he's also got 2 in the Champions League. So he's got 7 goals in 20, which is nearly roughly 1 in 3. Now, is that... I would have thought he'd be on 10 or 12 by now. He did have a chance in the second half where he just volleyed it straight into Verbruggen's hands. But he's the only one on that pitch today. I thought, Declan Rice and Saka, towards the very end of the game, looked a little bit tired, as expected. They play a lot of minutes. They play a lot of games. But Gyökeres, I don't know. When I look at the run of games they've got coming up, I do expect, looking at his quality, he should be scoring against at least a few goals in this run of games. Bournemouth leaking goals left, right, and centre. Portsmouth, I don't think he'll start that game. Forest leak goals left, right, and centre. Liverpool are starting to get back into form. They've won their last 4. And Chelsea in the League Cup, who knows? They've actually got a really busy January. Bournemouth, Liverpool, Portsmouth, Chelsea, Forest, Inter, United, Almaty, Leeds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They can't have 10 games. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They've got 9 games in January. So rotation is going to be really important. Really, really important for Arteta. And I do expect, with that run of games, Gyökeres to actually get on the score sheet. The first goal come today from Martin Ødegaard, and we haven't seen that a lot this season. Edge of the box, left foot, low, hard, finish. That is like the Odegaard area of where he scores the majority of his goals. He's very, very good at that. But this season, injury, carrying a knock, lack of fitness, lack of form. Today, he delivered a big, big goal when his team needed him. Big, big goal. Someone had to deliver today. And it was Martin Ødegaard. Really good finish. Made it 1-0. And then Arsenal kind of go in a very, very good position, opening 15 minutes. First half was absolutely dominated by them. Like I said, opening 40 minutes, I don't recall Brighton having a shot. More possession, more XG, more shots, more roughly the same amount of shots on target in the first half, as you'd expect from Arsenal. And then second half, I don't know what Rutter is doing. I really, really don't. They make it 2-0. And as soon as they got that second goal, I was like, well, that's that then. Because you know how strongly they are defensively. Fair enough, Gomez scored for Brighton, but they were very, very good in the opening 15, 20 minutes, Brighton. You have to give them some credit. But I don't know what that own goal is. It's an absolute disaster. Arsenal have a second, and they've actually been quite fortunate with own goals recently. They started the second half well, Brighton, but it was Arsenal who added a crucial second goal, and it was them. It was about seeing the game out. Brighton did respond back. You know, they got a lifeline from Gomez, who made it 2-1. But I just think they're too strong at the moment. You know, they've won their last 5 games in all competitions. They currently sit top of the Premier League. The only thing I will say is that goal difference for Manchester City is very, very strong right now. It is very, very strong. And they have won 8 games in all competitions on the bounce. Like, if you look at the form, you know, Aston Villa coming up next is not an easy game. It's really, really not an easy game. Arsenal have to beat Aston Villa. They have to beat Aston Villa. It's as simple as that. They have to. If they don't, I don't think City slip up against Sunderland. I really, really don't. It is away, right? And Sunderland at this moment in time aren't on the best of form. You know, they did beat Newcastle recently, but they have to win that. In terms of the match stats today, Arsenal were by far the better team on every single metric. Shots, possession, big chances created, XG, every single metric today, they were the better team. Big chances, accurate passes, less fouls, more shots on target. Like nearly 3 XG is very, very good. They're lacking just that little bit of a clinical edge for me. Is the only thing I would say. The Aston Villa Chelsea game will be really, really interesting though, because if Villa go out there and win another game, then I'm not going to lie, that Villa right now look very, very, very good. Chelsea is a bigger game for them, in my opinion, because Liverpool are now sitting 4th and they're level on points with Manchester United, who, by somehow, some way, are sitting 5th in the league. But let me know your thoughts. Make sure you drop a like. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you next time. I'm out.